We are community.
Sustainable.
Affordable.
We are YorSpace.
We want to build cooperatively owned,
Low cost.
Environmentally sustainable homes.
that create
And sustain community.
Currently, the housing market is in crisis. 2/3 of private renters in England are not saving anything towards a deposit.
3 million working parents in England are cutting back on buying food in a bid to help pay their mortgage or rent.
Over 3 million working young people are living at home with their parents. A lack of community can lead to mental health problems and loneliness. That's where we come in.
My name's Sue Bird and I'm a co-founder of YorSpace. We started YorSpace in 2014. I've been renting in York since I moved here 8 years ago, and I've struggled with the high rents. I've struggled to save a deposit because the house prices are very high. I was recently evicted from my property because the landlord wanted to sell and has put the house on the market for a very high price. So I've had to move quite quickly and I've struggled with those sorts of instabilities.
I'm Susanna, I'm a member of YorSpace, have been for about 3 years. In my professional life, I'm a clinical psychologist trainee. At times we all have difficulties and we struggle and we need support. And building homes which encourage communication, encourage connection, means that at times that we struggle, there's more potential that we can have people there to help us out.
I'm James, I'm a co-founder of YorSpace. I met Sue back in 2012 and we were inspired by the project in Leeds Lilac. And my day job is I'm a designer. I work with an architectural practice called Native. Being a member of YorSpace and becoming a resident means that you'll be part of an intentional community. It'll be a way for you to take control of your housing and manage the housing collectively as a community. Come together for shared meals. There'll be lots of shared facilities, so we're looking at things like a shared laundrette, workshop space, a shared kitchen, living space.
YorSpace came together around ideas about living in a community and living more environmentally sustainably, so we hope that our community would foster those kinds of values. But we've also come together around these ideas of affordability now, having tried to establish a community and tried to establish our own homes.
I particularly love the community side of it and the way in which we, by getting together and pooling our resources, can create a sustainable way of living in an affordable way.
Personally, I'm really interested in the potential for providing for older people who need support and then later care. Much has been said about the crisis in social care. This isn't a new issue. This has been around for decades, and I think the possibility of purchasing jointly a house and then buying in the care has a lot of potential.
Well, it will benefit other people because it'll give them a ready-made community to move into, because things have changed in my lifetime, whereas everybody used to know everybody else. We don't anymore. You don't happen to know your neighbours so well, and I would love to live in a community where everybody knew each other and you knew your neighbours.
We get to know the community and the people around us. And we've done that so far. For example, like when we come across a site that we think this would be good for co-housing, we then put it out to a public meeting. We introduce ourselves to those around us. We do quite a lot of flyering, leafleting, and we say, come round, like, hear our plan. What do you think of it? Do you think that there's elements that for where you live that things are particularly needed? We believe in growing space. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your community to have a green area that you can work in together. And when we think about the growing space, we'd love to have it open to those living outside of the community, outside of YorSpace, but who live locally.
We're not an island, and the community we'll create is outward looking. And for instance, our common house building, that's primarily for our residents, but actually it would be really good to open that out and have that as a space that other local groups can use.
YorSpace can work for the benefit of all its members, because we're working together to achieve a better future in housing in York.
I've heard lots about what YorSpace is doing in York, and I think it's great taking a big site and working with local authority partners, and I think it's really exciting to lay down some kind of template or blueprint about what every city can achieve, and especially York faces some really big challenges, especially around flooding and climate change, car use and affordability.
Self-build has a part to play in providing much needed housing, and we are keen to support a model where like-minded people come together to provide a sustainable community.
As a young parent, I'm interested in how YorSpace offers a nurturing, supportive environment for young children to grow up in. They can learn how to grow their own vegetables and fruits on the allotments. They can learn how to build a house out of straw bale. So they're really learning how to do very practical life skills, which is an extension of what they learn in school.
I myself, along with my wife, was looking for a home to buy. We've been renting for a couple of years in York. We became increasingly frustrated with not just the sort of how few available properties there were, but the sheer price of property in York. I actually reached the point where I went online, clutching at straws really. I was sort of saying, you know, are there any other people in a similar situation to me? Would people even consider sort of clubbing together to almost, you know, buy a property and sort of split it into flats? I mean, that's how desperate we were. I think that home should be more than just bricks and mortar. It really should be, you know, knowing your neighbours, you know, knowing who you can turn to, and sort of people coming together a little bit more frequently.
I had a tough day to go and chat to one of your neighbours about it, and because you know them well, because you've gone through the process of designing and deciding what the community looks like and what the community will be, you'll get a great sense of ownership of that space.
30 years ago would have had no problem finding themselves a permanent family home to live in, and now are really stuck for long periods of time in rented accommodation, and we need to find some kind of alternative. Mutual home ownership or cooperative home ownership allows us to keep housing affordable in perpetuity. So it'll never get sold on the open market. It'll never go up to a really high house price, and so we can keep those houses affordable for now and for our children's generation.
We are committed to making York a more affordable, sustainable, resilient and collaborative One Planet city. We are making environmentally sustainable, energy efficient homes, reducing waste in our community, promoting the use of sustainable transport by encouraging cycling and car share, using renewable, sustainable building materials such as straw bale, promoting healthy eating by growing our own food in allotments, sustainable drainage and water usage, potentially through rainwater harvesting, integrating natural habitats to support biodiversity, supporting art and culture by providing workshops, creating genuinely affordable homes. Community wellbeing is at the heart of what we do.
You can sign up on the website and pay £2 and become a voting member of the YorSpace Community Benefit Society, and we want as many people as possible in York to join, because we want development to be a community-wide, a city-wide venture that we all do together. And then after that, if you want to be more closely involved, if you're enthusiastic and you think you've got something to offer, you can join our central hub team, and they're the people that really drive this project forward, and that's also open to anybody. If you want to think about becoming a resident, you can tell us that and join our residents register. And then when properties become available, then as a group we will decide who gets to live there, prioritising people who have housing needs.